All right, everybody. I am trying to do a better job with these videos. Let me know if that first 5 minutes there was helpful. If so, I think that'll be in a new format. And at the rear of the video, as we are now, I'll kind of go into a verbal discussion about my thought process and maybe answer some more of the nuances. But let's address the elephant in the room, and that is the dramatic change in design. So I think you guys seeing this probably have a good sense of what's going on. I'm going to get into the design concept, but let me just touch on this. The genesis of this design change really came from a mock-up. As probably most of you guys know, I don't do any plans, I don't do any sketches. I visualize the build in my mind and kind of work through some of the initial designs. And a lot of times, within reason, I'll do some mock-ups just to try to see, how tall something will look like in real life or some general shape, etc. And my initial thoughts on the design, which I didn't actually really discuss with you guys in any great length anyways, I don't think it's a bad design, but when I started mocking it up and kind of getting things in place, I had some real concerns about proportionality. And what I mean by that is this. This is a relative, this is about 101 inches long is what this will turn out to be. And I kind of, even though I had visualized most of the other build, I kind of just started, but I still had some problems with how the front end of this was going to look. And when I started mocking up my original design, I realized I wasn't liking where it was going. So I kind of took a break, went back in for the rest of the night, really thought about it, did some visualization, and kind of had an epiphany to use a compression arch. And if you guys watch my Camper 10.0 shell build, you guys will know that for the roof of that, I also used a compression arch. And what that is, and I have to give credit to a viewer for giving me the proper terminology for that is I just take, this is 1/4-inch birch plywood. Now, one note, this is real plywood, meaning it's bi-directional, okay? So when they cut the individual veneers, I think this is a 3-ply. The ply underneath this would go, the grain would go in the opposite direction, and then the inside, as you can see, is the same as this outside. So that's different than Luan, okay? So make sure that you guys understand that. Here locally where I'm at in the Southwest, I can only find this higher quality 1/4-inch birch plywood at an actual lumber store, not the home stores. But anyways, what I found is that if you compress this, now there is limits to how much you compress it, it will form a very natural and organic, beautiful curve. And like I've talked about before, it's really hard to mimic that manually. It's best if you can get that curve from actually curving the plywood itself. But what I found, and it's logical, is when that you curve it, it actually turns out to be really strong. And then I go in and I believe these are 2.5-inch strips. I cut 2.5-inch strips of that same plywood. You can kind of see how it's glued together here. And with construction adhesive, I just line them together and tack it together. And then when this dries up, so it's essentially like putting in a little frame member. I mean, this arch right here is super, super strong. And you'd be amazed, you don't even really have to arch it very much. Even up here in these roof sections where there's a little bit of an arch, even though I don't have a huge or a significant beam, this is just 3/4-inch ply. I think this is 2-inch. Yeah, that's 2-inch going across. This roof is already really strong. I don't even have the sidewalls in. So, but anyways, and back to the design, I had kind of that epiphany to say, well, why don't I make a compression arch on the front? It'll add good style, add some aerodynamics. I mean, I'll admit there's a lot of camper designs that, have something like that. I mean, teardrops come to mind, for example. And so I came out, started mocking it up. I had a friend come over and help me. And when I got it in place, I realized that's it. And for me, when I get a design through visualization and confirmed through a mock-up, and it clicks and I say, that's it, that's the one, now my confidence is going, and then I can really move through. So I guess my long-winded point to you guys is that's my creative process, but it's also, I think, a creative process that we all could probably learned from or used, or perhaps already used. But anyways, that's where it went. So as far as this design, this will have an internal height of 62 inches, and that's purposeful. I know, make it standing height, Dave. It's pretty darn close to standing height, at least for me. I'm a shorter guy. But it comes down to that concept of proportionality. I was really afraid that if I made this super, super tall, it would start to look awkward. And I think the height of this and with the length and the width and everything, I think proportionally this is looking really good. So I was originally going to use a different set of windows, which I was going to place here. But with the new change in design, I went ahead and bought the tilt-out windows like I've used in my last couple campers. And those windows, obviously I have to still frame in some stuff, are going to sit here. And then I'm going to have a porthole window on each side up here in the front. And yeah, I mean, I think it looks beautiful. I'm super, super excited about this design. Now this one is going to be kind of a hybrid. It's going to have cedar siding, which is kind of like what you guys seen on the bulk of my campers, the latest of which was Camper 10.0 Shell Project and Truck Camper 8.0. So the side walls will be cedar planking. The rear wall will be cedar planking. I've got a symmetrically mounted door, which will be right here. We'll have the AC box here. And then this one, I am going to put a diesel heater in. This will be the first camper I've put a heater in. But I'll have the air conditioner, have a diesel heater. We'll put some solar on the roof. But yeah, I mean, as this builds further, I'll kind of give you a little bit more insight into how everything's going to be laid out. But I'm just super, super excited. As far as the construction, I think I covered it all in the time lapse. Most of you guys have been here before, but if you are new here, when I make my columns, I just laminate or I glue together individual cedar boards. Like I said, I source these from cedar fixed pickets. I've used this method for a long time. Works out really, really well. Glue them together. You know, in some places I use screws and everything. But these upper portions use, I guess it'd be a lap joint to where I attach this 3/4 plywood for the beams. And you guys, last week we did the tub, which I talked about. Yeah, in a nutshell, guys, that's it. If you have any questions, throw them down in the description. I'll try to answer them. For a couple of you, I've received, I don't know, maybe 3 or 4 email questions in the last week. I have not had a chance to sit down and answer those. So if you're watching this and you sent an email and I didn't respond to you yet, I apologize. I'll get to that ASAP. I've just had some other things I had to take care of. But progress is going well. And let me know what you guys think of both the new format for the video and the new design for the camper. But I will tell you right now that I am very, very excited. So thanks, guys, for watching.